Shri Arvind Sawant, firebrand minister, member of parliament from South Mumbai constituency of Maharashtra, one of the 48 and probably one of the highest profiles out of the 540 plus constituencies that we have in the country in the lower house of parliament. Arvind Sawant is somebody who knows the ground realities by the back of his hand when it comes to industries. He also served as the Union Minister for Heavy Industries from May 2019 and up to November. Arvind Sawantji is credited with having given the formula of survive, revive and thrive. You know?
Kya baat hai? You remember?
Reform, transform and perform. He has seen.
As a minister, when I was a minister, I spoke.
I had done a cover story with you 5 years back, 6, 7 years back. The cover story was around reform, transform. Now Arvind Sawantji will also take us through his experience of the telecom sector specifically, because he has worked very closely with MTNL. He has been also a very, very strong name in the union circles of Maharashtra, Amchi, Mumbai. No wasting further time, because he is on a tour. Despite that, he's agreed to come on and speak about public sector, the do's and don'ts. And it's a non-partisan kind of a discussion today. It's a non-partisan discussion. Doesn't matter, Shiv Sena, UBT, non-UBT, BJP, Congress, Trinamool, nothing. That doesn't matter.
Forget that. Yeah.
He has to enlighten the audience, the country, and whatever inputs we get from this kind of a discussion should hold the country in good stead in the years to come, especially with the dilly-dallying happening around the privatization of the PSUs, the remarkable performance of surge in the profit of the banking sector and the public sector banks, etc., etc. Without wasting further time, over to you. Arvind Sawantji, your experience in the public sector domain, right from your union days up to the privatization, also up to the kind of, recently declared numbers of BSL, 262 crore profits after 18 years, AGR dues, various controversies in the public sector, the CAG reports coming and mushrooming all over the place, the oil company selections in doldrums, even of the chairman. IOC, 3 years, 2 years, the chairman selection was in the doldrums. Same with SPCL. Now BPCL has a slag. What's going on? Arvind Sawant, over to you.
Thank you, Amiji. I really appreciate you when the country is harping on some unimportant subjects. You are addressing a very serious subject. And I'll start with the, like this. Everyone knows that, many of the people may not be knowing it, but new generation may not be knowing it. The petroleum, the bank, the insurance, all these were private sectors. And the late Honorable Prime Minister of India, Indira Gandhi ji, has nationalized all these sectors. Now, what was the motive of nationalization? One must understand what is the motive behind that. The motive behind that, as I understood, that when she has done it, of the banks to the common mass was not the existing. It was the banks were used by certain people. Not all the people were going to the banks, including myself. Hey, we are a salary earners, getting the salary, spending the salary for the whole month for the family. Who has got a time to save the money and go to the bank? So to these questions, then the idea was the man or the last man of the country. Secondly, generation of the employment. And you see the number of people got employed in all these public sectors during 60s, 70s. Oh my goodness. The right from the Honorable Prime Minister Pandit Nehru ji, till Mr. Modi, every Prime Minister has created some or the other public sector. Here, the stand taken by the present government was totally contradiction to that. And therefore, all these public sectors were earning profit. They were serving the country. They were giving the money to the country also in terms of dividends, because they eventually these are the company, these are the public sectors. The money is some part of the private sector, private people, but they never get any the dividend the government used to get out of dividend. Governments are there, so government was getting a sufficient amount from these public sectors in their treasury. Now the after changing this stand, the other day I spoke to you. I said a little bit of politics, not politics, but when the new government came, I appealed to the Honorable Prime Minister, strengthen the public sectors. One must think why I'm saying it, as you are rightly put, without partisan. I'm saying it because nobody thinks of the country in terms of a population. Our country's major issue is population. Now that population, do you look it as an asset or a liability? When you say 85 crore people we are giving free food, is it a liability or is it an asset? Why don't you try to convert it into an asset? Then nobody, and whatever the decisions you are taking, never ever I have observed the government has thought of a social impact. May it be tribal people, may it be serving people, may it be anybody. Now the if you do not think in that way, that is the reason when you have quoted me, I quoted it when I was a minister, and I had a meeting or a convention of all public sectors today, and I told them you assist each other. If I want to fill the gas or a petrol in my vehicle, I'll go to the public sector petrol pump. And if it, I have to go for a communication, I'll go for a public sector telephone. If I have to travel by air, I will go by Air India. That time the jet and other airlines were existing. Not that I am opposing them, but at least we should we can we should help each other so that everybody will get the strength. The attitude and approach of the party is totally different, and particularly they have a hidden agenda. You look at the behavior of the party, the government. There are number of hidden agendas. You won't believe that. Are they going to do this? Are they going to... When they do it, you don't know it. I will request you to kindly go to the details of the many public sectors who have been closed or who have been liquidated. In an election, I go to some places and say, "Hey, bhai, ये कारखाना बंद है, चालू करना है कि नहीं करना है?" People say, "करना है." And when you get elected, you say, "No, no, it is not possible." This double stands, as far as I am there, Shiv Sena is there. The culture of the Shiv Sena is that commitment is commitment. Once you do it, fulfill it. And it is the other way in the present government. Now, as far as MTN is concerned, the banks are concerned, you go to the any city and see the branches of after the digitalization, computerization, the manpower has been reduced over there. Banks are like, you feel you're deserted now. People are not going there. Okay. Now in this situation, how to survive? How to survive? Therefore, I said you must think of a population of the India. A qualified people, qualified boy, maybe a graduate, do not get jobs. When you yourself in the a post of a constable, and the government doesn't have time to look into this very serious grievance of of the country itself, not of youth. It is the country's grievance. When you say it is the youngest country, the young is suffering a lot. Why they go leave the country and go abroad? What's the idea? They get perfect in our country. Even if he gets a job, his remuneration is not equivalent to his qualification. Whereas he gets the same double, triple remuneration when he goes abroad. Now look at the other public sectors. Particularly, I know much better of the MTNL. Now Who has told you to form the public sector? So many committees were formed what to do with the telecom. And then Sam Pitroda advised them. So they formed the committees and they said all metro cities will be corporatized. So Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, Bangalore, or Chennai. The Atre committee was formed which recommended you should go for a zones, west zone, south zone, central zone, all those things. None of these recommendations were accepted by the government. But eventually they did it for MTNL. Today, when you said just now, this is what the game they play. And they told you hidden agenda. How they said it now, the MTNL is dying. You yourself, the honorable finance minister, in the recent speech of the financial speech in the parliament, said why MTNL is on BSNL is in losses because they were asked to pay exorbitant license fee equivalent to the private sectors, and to repay that license fee, they were asked to borrow the loan from the banks. After borrowing such a heavy loan, there also again injustice was done because MTNL and BSNL, MTNL was serving only for Delhi and Mumbai, whereas BSNL was serving for the entire country. They were asked to pay 10,000 crores. MTNL was also asked to pay 10,000 crores. Where from they will get the money? And BSNL has got that time 4 lakh employees, and we had 60,000 employees. So you can make out 4 lakh to 5 lakh employees were there in BSNL that time. So you can compare that. So there also you dictatorial terms did not allow them to participate in the vending system, and then after you compel them to borrow the loan. Let it be any government. Okay, that government has done this. What your government has done this? Did you? Did you take the onus of it? You did not take. The entire 10 years you wasted on blame game. Go blaming the others, blaming the others. What exactly you have done? Today they are showing the profit. The Now the you and me, everyone knows almost the landlines are closed down. Very, I mean, not 1% landlines may be working. Then what people are working? People are using mobile services. You are not improving the services of the mobile. Delhi and Metro are the capitals of the country. One is the capital of the country, another financial capital of the country. There you don't pay attention. You say 4G we have started, 5G we have started television on the mobile. Is it available in Delhi, Mumbai? Every now and then the speech is not there. Speechless calls are there. One-way speech is there. No network is there. For that, you don't have a time. And when we accuse something, they you feel, Arey, what is this going on? It's not that. Now you are showing a profit and you are showing MTNL is in losses. You must look at that also. How MTNL will come in profit? Landlines are not working. The mobile services has been taken over by the BSNL. So you are giving the service, mobile service in the both the metro cities, and the profit money you are taking. BSNL is taking the money. From where the money will come in MTNL account? And you are deceiving the people. BSNL has come to profit. Now, I don't blame the Department of Telecom. I blame the finance minister. Then you take the onus of it. The license fee which you are compelled to pay, take the responsibility as you have waived up the loans of the thousands of the corporates, millions. Why not you waive up the loans of the BSNL and MTNL? They will next day they will come in profit. Why don't you allow them to go with these services under the pretext of Atmanirbhar? Sir, Amiji, you will get shocked. Sorry, Amiji, you will get shocked. The tender was floated, and MTNL got the tender. And the tender company, Chinese company, was finally become successful in that tender. By that time, we had a political problem with the country. I say political. The political problem was with the country, not out the China. What the China does, everyone knows it now. Because of Google mapping, you know what they are doing over there. Then we stopped the transactions with the trading with the China. And what you did, you asked MTNL to cancel the tender. You did not allow because it was already finalized. Order was given for the 5G equipment. You did not allow them to buy the 5G, 4G equipment. Now, from where they will improve? Then I wrote the letter to the Honorable Prime Minister and requested him, sir, allow them to go for a retendering and see that global tender. And in global tender, except China, let them invite the companies from all over the world to fulfill the tender to provide the 5G, 4G equipment. He did not he did not reply to my letter. And then in the meetings, I used to inquire about it. He used to say, Atmanirbhar. Okay, we are proud of it. The concept of Atmanirbhar is basically good. I'm happy. But when we are not at all manufacturing anything in this country, why don't you allow them to buy it from anywhere in the world? You did not allow. Under MTNL to buy the equipment. Invented some machines and all those things. They have started doing 4G services, which is not compatible or which is not even satisfactory and which is not available in the metro cities. Who's? It's a policy decision, is it not? You are saying Atmanirbhar. You are not allowing your own baby to grow. For whom? It's $1 million question. For whom? Tomorrow, Elon Musk wants that Starline should come here. If that comes, where your mobile stands, where your mobile is, it will be a satellite one. So naturally, you don't require so many things over there. What will happen? So therefore, must see that the banks. Now, the other day I said the banks. You talk about Mudra loan. You talk about stand-up loan. People are standing up. Who are these? How many are there? Again, 140 crores population. Take a ratio of it and show how many young little boys are taken the loan. Collateral. Where from they will bring the collateral? You tell me. Education loan. From where they will bring the collateral? The children are studying abroad, but not able to pay the fees. The parent is not in a position because the companies have been closed. From where they'll get the loan? And secondly, labor laws have been changed. Now, no permanent worker. Everywhere you will find fixed term employees or contract employees. Now, you tell me, you are myself, suppose I am a contract labor or a contract worker or a fixed term worker, maybe getting a good salary also. I mean, I don't say we are not paying good remuneration at all, but still I say, in that case, if I want to have my own house and if I go to the bank, is the bank will give me the money, loan? And they'll ask you, what is your earning? I'm fixed term employee. For how many years? 2 years. Now, after 2 years, I don't know. Will you get the same salary? Don't know. Because again, contract has to be made. The company may say, we are in the past, we are giving 1 lakh rupees salary or 50,000 salary. Now I cannot give you. If you want to work, we will continue for you, provided we give you 25,000, 40,000. You are ready to work, you work, otherwise you leave. What is the fate of the life of the people? Where this young generation will go? Have you ever thought of it? Pensions, that EPS pension. Now that pension, 1,500 to 3,000. What the pensioner will do? Supreme Court has given a verdict, go to up to 7,500. For last 10 years, Supreme Court has given the verdict. No implementation. Do we believe that we respect the Supreme Court? And Supreme Court deserves the respect is another question. So therefore, it's really a horrible condition. I told you the other day that the Vallabhbhai Patel statue has been raised. For the last 5 years, I will request you to go to the annual report of all these public sector, particularly oil companies, ONGC, Indian Oil. How much money government has taken from them? When I asked the question in the committee, I was on the parliamentary committee of petroleum and asked them, how much money you are giving? What is the definition of a CSR? Under CSR, how much money can be given? So they said out of profit 2%. So how much money you are given for that? Is it out of 2% of the profit? Dictator. I told you. Who will question? Nobody has daring to question them. The press has been pressed. Press has been pressed. The media has been also is a dumb and deaf. They don't have a courage to ask the questions today. Look at the American US. How many questions? I think after 10 years we have seen the Prime Minister facing the press in US. He never faced a press in India. And nowadays, even if he faces the press in India, I don't think anyone will have a courage to ask the question to him, except few. I mean, like Ravish Kumar, yourself, so many people are, handful people up there who may raise question. Rajdeep Bhai, all those the guys here, I mean, Mishra ji, those Sharma ji, these are very handful. Amit Anjun, very few, and others will keep silent. And therefore, we see there's a threat to the democracy of India. There's a threat to the constitution of India. Whimsical, I decide. I never say it's a guarantee of my government. I say it's my guarantee. I should say it's a guarantee of my government. No, I say it's my government. There lies the issue. And therefore, banks are facing problems. How much money has been given by the banks? How much money has been given by the ONGC and other the public sectors? So you want to what, privatize it? Look at the ports. Look at the airports. Look at the authorities. Airport authority. Authority they call. Word is authority. What is authority with the airport? Who runs it? How the owner of the GVK, GVK was looking at Mumbai airport. How is thrown out? No, you. Everyone knows it. The port is with one person, airport with one person. Single, same person will be there. Mining he'll do. He'll go for power sectors. So every sector he is grabbing. I have no enmity with him. But then eventually, even after doing this, what are you giving to the common man? 80% free food is what we are delivering to them. In English, one idiom is there which says, don't teach the child to eat the fish, teach the child to catch the fish. Now, don't give them free food, make them to earn the food, earn money and get the food. There we are lacking, sir. And I'm really deeply hurt. I feel public sector should have been strengthened further. They should compete. Now you are bringing insurance, private insurance. Public sector insurance, some accident has taken place. We go to convince them. They are also humble. They go help the people. Here, in medical, you see, hospitals, the nodal, some agent is kept over there by the insurance companies. It doesn't allow you, and if you have insurance, it doesn't allow you to take this. Hey, don't do this. How much money you are spending on this? The insurer doesn't allow. Health, communication, education, transportation, issues of the major departments. Defense is also one of them. That also has been privatized now. One who did not have any experience in the defense has been allotted more than 700 hectares land in Nagpur. He is going to do the research. Favorism is going on to certain people, violating the entire rules, regulation, violating the constitution. As far as the issue is confined to public sector, that's why I'm not talking about all those issues. But these are the issues, serious issues of this. I, for one, feel the employment is a serious issue. The young generation's frustration is a serious issue. And therefore, government must think it. We are leading to anarchy. Because on one side, these frustrations are there. On the other side, you are fighting, religious fightings are going on. What for? Casteism is going on. What for? What can I say? Amit, you are silent. Assam Tea and others. We had a public sector tea company. You have a Tata tea, you have so many other teas. But there again, the poor farmers, the pluckers, they are the workers, pluckers of the leaves. If they are in the hands of the private people, they are humiliated. They are deprived of getting the legitimate rights of having a good salary or one. At least being a publisher, you save them. Okay, but that also again I say, okay, I can understand that privatization. But these are the issues. The profit-making companies were closed and were sold to whom? God knows. Nobody knows it. Hidden agenda.
Arvindji, you were also in the government for some years. You were also heading the ministry yourself. So, I mean, taking it towards a positive angle, any good initiatives that you would like the government to, because you were also part of the government in at one point in time. So, any good initiatives that could be the government should be hailed for during that time and even now?
I don't feel in, I don't get any is based is in the infrastructure. For them to flourish. I can understand competition. Don't tie our legs and ask us to run with others. Give the autonomy and freedom to both. Make them accountable. I don't say the public sector should not be. They should be also made accountable. But give them freedom to work. If you're under the Atmanirbhar, if you don't allow them to take the equipment from the other from the globe, what they will do? What they will do? So that autonomy is required for the public sector. They are competent enough. They are brilliant. They are dedicated people. Don't say they don't. They are not dedicated. Handful of people are always there in every sector. All those private sectors. You talk about private. How much corrupt are the private sectors? How many corruptions have been happened in the private sector? Corporates. Who are those? These are all corporates. May it be in the reality dip also, you will find all those people are these are corporates only. Reality. Corrupt. Electoral bond. Corrupt. Of late, when the tender was floated and the underneath, I mean, the tunnel from in Mumbai, from Goregaon to Thane, contract was given to a company whose name we have never heard of. And then we found the said company has given purchase crores of rupees electoral bond, and they were obligated by giving this contract. It's coterie and ring they call in they form a ring. On one tender, I will say I will go for this tender. You both will pay prescribe. I mean ask for higher money so that the lowest will be mine. I will get it. The next tender I will give higher. You will get that. They all these they are doing it. All these things are doing. You'll find the same people are there. One will get this tender, other will get this tender, other third will be. On paper, it is tendering. The lowest one has been given. So the rules have been followed. Why the present chief minister is cancelling the tenders? You just think of it in Maharashtra. Yesterday, he has cancelled some one tender of collecting the garbage to the tune of 3,250 crores. Just think of it. This is something
Arvindji,
positive. I never heard it. As far as public sector is concerned, I never thought of positive. But other thing, but then also I have apprehension and fear I have raised this question also. Under the pretext of development, what do you mean by development? How you define a development? Whose development? Who's the beneficiary? Is it the common man? You tell me. You are constructing bridges, tunnels. Okay, accept it. At the cost of nature, destroying the nature. What has happened in Telangana? What is happening? The rise in temperature. Today, I think yesterday or today, the report is there in Uttarakhand. The very heavy rainfall or snowfall is going on over there. All hailstorm is going on. I don't know exactly, but that is happening over there. So you must think, you must have a balance. Under the pretext of development, if you don't go in damaging the entire nature, destroying, not only damaging, destroying the nature. The future generation is going to face all these issues. They'll fail them.
Okay, Arvindji, as I was asking earlier, any good initiatives that during your time or during Shiv Sena's time in the government, with the current government, or
Yes,
even
yes. Not
now?
only that, when I was a minister, we went for that electric buses. That was a good decision to reduce the pollution. And I was the man who used to sanction that buses to the nook and corner of the country. Sanction means they are purchasing it by tender, but then we are giving some subsidy from the government. So subsidy was given by the central government, and they were getting this. That was to reduce the pollution. That was one of the good decisions which were taken by the government. Central government was giving subsidy. It's a good decision, no doubt. Certain decisions are good. I won't blame because it is not related to public sectors. Therefore, I did not go into that. I told you just now, infrastructure. Okay, at the cost of what? That is the issue. I'm worried about that. See the other side of. Then I said just now, impact and social impact. Both the things you have to think.
I mean, recently there was a huge uproar about the RINL divestment, but then it has also been put on the back burner. I mean, do you hail the government for trying to bail out such companies?
See, certain companies which you cannot, revive or may not have the business, there the government should do it. I can understand that. I said I am not deadly against a privatization. No, not at all. Hotel running. What were you doing? Now see, Hotel Corporation of India, uh, Chef Air, Flight Kitchen. You must have heard the name of the company. Chef Air Flight Kitchen. That company used to supply the food in the when we travel in the air. So we get the some snacks, sometimes even lunch, dinner. So they were supplying this to the number of airlines. Jet is closed, Kingfisher is closed, in Indigo has a separate ideas, so they sell it off at very. Air India, which was having a contract with the chef here, has closed down because Air India has got its own flight kitchen, Taj Flight Kitchen. It's a Tata. So they said, here onwards, we are not going to purchase it from you. Now, what will happen to that employees? All are on contract. Many of them, it's again a public sector. So even if you, I don't say that the decision of the company was totally wrong, but the government must think in what is the fate of these people at the age of 45, 50, 35, where they'll get the job. What is their future? That is a $1 billion question. What is their future? Will they get a job or not? And that is what the frustrations are there among the people. Farmers doing suicide. What is the future? You and me are assured income people. Let it be less or more, but we are having assured income. Farmer doesn't have assured income. Contract laborers do not have any assured income. Tomorrow they'll be leaving. The company will, because eventually who's doing it? Vendor. So contract labors are not directly taken by the company. Company appoints a vendor, and in turn, vendor calls the contract people. Now, Axis Bank, go and check. Thousands of people are working in Axis Bank years together. No promotion, no increment, no agreement. You are a contract labor. If they go on a resort to any educational program, you are a contract labor. We have got no concern with you. You talk to a vendor. Vendor says, I'm ready to give you increase. But from where I'll give? If the bank gives me, I'll give you increase. Bank doesn't want to. HDFC, all these sitting, they're worse than the bureaucrats. We were criticizing bureaucrats earlier. These are the corporates are worse than the bureaucrats. Inhuman behavior. Inhuman. So humiliation. Everybody is facing a humiliation in any sectors. These are the private sector. You tell me. I'm quoting the names of the banks and all. I've quoted the names of the company. Where in India? They don't want trade union. That's why they have changed the labor laws. It's all dictatorial term. No permanent employee, all contractor, fixed term employees or casual employees. Can you imagine? In that mm, chef air flight kitchen, all those employees are recruited as a casual employees. Now, on legal term, casual means a casual work. One day work, to work, make color the building, color my house, do some furniture. It's a casual work. So you are appoint a casual contract. They are on paper, they are casual, but still working for 15 years. And if you go to the court, are they are casual employees, sir? They are not permanent employees. How come they work for 15 years continuously? In old labor law, there was a law. If the person has worked for more than 280 days in a year continuously, he should be made permanent in the company. It means the company needs his job permanently. Today, go to Masgaon Dock. It's a public sector. Masgaon Dock Limited, shipbuilding company. Employees are you on contract, succumbing the pressure, and go and verify. This is the situation, sir.
In the Trump era, how do you think the handling of the public sector would change?
It can be, sir. I just now told you it's a competent. You give a liberty to, that license fee take out and give a liberty to the company and ask them wherever you want 4G, 5G equipment, purchase it. What the private sector does, the corporates sit together. The board of directors sit today evening they take the decision. Next day morning it is implemented. Do they have the same system in the government? Interference of the government is always there in that. It is not presently. It was existing earlier also. So I don't blame the government, this or that. This is happening. This is happening. Give them liberty, sir. I'm telling you, they are more competent than these private banks. Today, the government is implementing this Mudra loan and all those things. Give them a little bit of liberty. What the HDFC chairman? Why that lady has been arrested? Had it been done in the public sector, oh, you and cry would have been made. Oh, public sector banks are corrupt. They always have a fear. At least they confine to rules, regulation, try to abide by that and implement the schemes. Give them a freedom. Ask them if 2%, 3% losses may incur. But for collateral, as an intelligent guy is there, one who has produced a bicycle with petrol and diesel and said this bicycle will run on even on a solar. If he needs some money, are you going to ask for a collateral? From where that village man will give it? His father is a farmer. Banks are reluctant to give the loan to them. They go on taking excuses. This cannot be done, that cannot be done, this paper, that paper. Oh, whole lot of the problems will be raised by the banks and all. Therefore, this is issue. Fine.
Arvindji, what is your experience about the role of public sector vis-a-vis role of federalism vis-a-vis public sector? Because I've seen or have experienced, have learned, have interacted with a lot of public sector who have performed exceedingly well at a regional level. For example, a company like Fertilizer Travanco, FSCT, and it's based out of Kozhikode, Kerala. That company certainly did very well. There's a company called ITI, which was the first public sector company set up in 1948. It has recently turned around.
Close down.
Your
This is
views?
what they said. There also, when I spoke to the Honorable Prime Minister and told him, see, ITI, Indian Telecom Industry, huge land bank is there. And Indian Telecom Industries was manufacturing some PBX boards and some telephone instruments. Ask them to produce something else. Hard. You can go for a software, hardware. They can do it now. Transform the company. Therefore, I always appreciate the ITC. That gentleman who took the decision of that ITC, hats off to that man. I still pray, a great man. He was the CMD of the company. And what he did, ITC was what? Indian Tobacco Company. He kept it as it is, Indian Tobacco, okay. But he went into the hotels. All these ITC hotels, is it their business? Their business was tobacco.
You're
They
talking
went
about
to the hotel. Today
Deveshwarji.
you will find
You're
today
talking
you will
about
find ITC hotels are best hotels in the country.
You're talking about YC Deveshwar.
Deveshwar, he was a Dev. Dev means God. Deveshwar was a God. He's the man who took a decision like this. This is what transformation. You have to change with the period, time. You have to change with the time. The time
And
has
now
come for the speed work.
recently they've even gone for a demerger of the hotel division because that itself poses a huge opportunity for the group. And they don't
Yeah.
want the branding to be diluted in the wake of the huge tourism potential that the country has.
See, this is what I'm saying. No, this is what exactly you are supposed to do. That give a liberty, give the autonomy, make them accountable. Make them accountable. You are not ready to give it to them.
So you,
You are working
Arvindji,
for some.
you've heard about a company called Bata Offshore. Bata के
No,
बारे में we've all heard about Bata.
no, I don't come across the company.
Bata the
Bata, I
shoe.
know shoes. Shoe, I know. Bata shoes. It's a private company. It's a private company. It's not a government company.
It's a private company, but we all have been brought up to the thought or to the belief
Yeah.
that it's an Indian company. It's not an Indian company. They have a strategic, kind of a thought process wherein in whichever country they work or they operate, they ensure that the branding gets associated with the culture of that company in such a way that people start
Wow.
feeling that it's the company of their country.
Wow. That is what we see in telecom also. Now the MTN, BSNL, forget about that. Or the Department of Telecom. The entire world needs the service. Who stopped you to participate in the tendering system or trying to get some contracts from other countries to install the equipments, to lay the cable, to install the mobile services? Who stopped you? Government did not allow them to spread their wings. That's why I say don't tie our legs. Let them make their legs free. Give them the strength to their wings, and you will find they'll fly like an eagle.
Suddenly, after 10 years,
I'm confident.
almost a decade,
I'm really confident about the public sector. I know what the way they work. I know myself and my colleagues, they have worked for the company. Oh, you won't believe. When we used to come across the cable faults, and we used to day and night used to work on the road. Even if the heavy flood is there, even if the raining is there, we were working on the trenches and seeing that the cable joints are immediately cleared and the services are restored. I've seen such a dedicated people in the MTNL, BSNL. You are given some freedom to ISRO. Look at ISRO, what ISRO is doing. Don't you feel proud about it? ISRO, we feel proud about ISRO because we are given liberty to them, autonomy to them. Go ahead, whatever plans you go ahead. You are not ready to
You
give
were
that.
talking about Masgan, a company which is based out of Mumbai. Masgan Dock Shipbuilders. They have recently
Yeah, I
declared
told.
profit. Their profit has recently been declared for the quarter, and it has gone from 528 to 730 crores. That has gone up almost 40%.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good thing. Who said no? That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about what Mazgaon Dock is doing, but the employees are permanent employees are X, contract labor X, player Y, and then fixed term employees are Z. Just go and check what is happening with them. Mazgaon Dock, you won't believe. Again, I will tell you, they did not have a work. I raised the question in the parliament. I said this is the best company which produces, manufactures the best ships. Destroyers, they call destroyers, the warships. They are the people who are so dedicated. I've seen even the submarines manufactured by Mansgaard Dock, along with the collaboration of the foreign companies and foreign people. I myself visit to them. I'm proud about that company. They did not have work, because the designing has to be done by the Navy. They will give you. Then the first hull work is there. That is known as hull. That hull department did not have work. What will the next department will have? I raised the question with Rajnath Singh was very kind enough and he said, at least you think of it, the Mansgaard of a company like this should not go into losses continuously and over the period you can watch it. Number of destroyers, number of fighters, warships have been constructed in the Mascot Dock. That's the reason they are getting. They should also take the contracts of the foreign companies, foreign countries, and construct the ships, warships here. They are capable. That's what I'm saying. They are capable. But don't play with the people who are working with you.
Government should also be complimented, I guess, for pushing the initiative towards biofuels, clean energy, uh, renewable energy push has been, really getting stronger and vehement by the day. The canvassing by the
Amiji,
government for the clean energy over the last few years,
it's a
especially
good thing.
now,
It's I
and now the
heartily,
nuclear energy.
heartily appreciate. I heartily appreciate that. Heartily appreciate. But you must concentrate on solar energy first, than any other energy. Renewable energy, solar is the best. You won't believe, you won't believe at all. But the proof is available in the Maharashtra Assembly. I was a member of Legislative Council 1996, maybe around 98 or in between 98 2000. I mm, raised a proposal in the assembly and told them, see, what is guaranteed? The sunlight is guaranteed in Maharashtra and the entire country. We are very close to the equilibrium. So therefore, the equator we are close. The sunrise is very top. You forget about that. There you have got a ample sunlight is there. If you go for a solar, that time our own minister replied me, no, it is not viable. It is very costly. Then Suresh Prabhu was the minister then in the central minister. There's some convention was going there also. I raised the same question again. I got the same answer. It is not viable. It is very costly. Today it has changed, and I'm really happy. At least a layman I am a layman, was harping for this. Today we see the government is taking very positive steps on this thing, particularly renewable energy. See, Mr. Amiji, you were saying that because our discussion was confined to public sector. That's the reason I was not raising this question. But they are infrastructure, renewable energy. Water is another question, serious issue. Drinking water is a serious issue. What is Namami Gange? Whether the Ganga has been purified. The joining of the rivers was the best project. We should have emphasized on that project because drought and the unseasonal rain both are very complicated issues. You don't have rain, you don't have water, you cannot beneficial water. Nowadays, we are trying to purify uh, the sea water into a drinking water. That the plans are projects are being installed in some places, but still we have to think of it. How much water we are wasting. I, for one, in the hotel wherever I go, ask them don't pour up full the glass. Don't pour the water so that the glass is full. Don't do that. Keep it up. If I need it, I'll take it more. Don't waste that. This is a small thing I'm telling you. In hotels you go, even in common class two, class grade two, grade three hotel, they'll pour the water, fill the glass, fill up the glass to the top water. Then our lifestyle has changed. From Indian toilets, we are going to commode. For a commode, every now and then you have to flush. How much water is wasted in that? Do you have any idea about it? And from where you will get the drinking water if the drought takes place? How many dams are there? Are they sufficient enough to the increasing population in the country? In a Mumbai city like city, the Honorable Uddhavji Thackeray took initiative and constructed an additional dam over there on the same river. That is why we Mumbai people are getting drinking water. So they don't know who has done it. It's not the government, it is the municipal corporation did it under the guidance of the Honorable Uddhavji Thackeray. So drinking water is an issue.
Arvindji, we'll have to end the show in 3 minutes now. Just, before we let you go, you've seen Maharashtra over the last 50 years as a political leader. You are 70 plus now, probably you've seen the heydays of Balasaheb Thackeray.
Yes.
You've seen the heydays, if I may say so, or you've seen the dark days of the Mafia Raj. You've seen how it came up during Vardarajan Mudagalira's time. Haji Mastan, all these people, how they, Pathan, Mastan, and
Yusuf Pathan. Yusuf
Karim Lala,
Pathan.
Karim Lala,
Karim Lala, Yusuf Pathan, Haji Mastan.
and Vardarajan Mudagilir, the Tamil leader, Tamil union leader. You've seen all those days. You've seen how industry, mafia, they've all worked together. There was regional factionalism between the Maratha Manus vis-a-vis the Tamilian segment. But at the end of the day, they all worked together, but then finally today, we also have cases like Swadeshi Meals, which was the backbone of India's, industrialization, started by these great Jamshedji Tata. Even that has closed down now. The court has given the Bombay court has given the auction orders. So, with all that in backdrop in mind, what is your final suggestion to the government for ensuring that in a federal scenario like ours, in a country which is so complex, which has so many factors at a regional level, how can public sector companies, we have the Naxal problems, we have the tribal issues, we have the environmental issues, we have the animal conflict, there's so human animal conflict, we have the Trump era, we have a changing global dynamic scenario, wherein defense is important, LNG is important, wherein green energy is important, wherein nuclear energy is important. And wherein employment is the most important thing. People are the bags are being packed, they're being sent back to India. Private companies are throwing people out, even Infosys is in the docks. What is the solution? You think public sector has the panacea for all this?
Again, you come to, I raise the same question. Employment is a serious issue. Young generation and getting frustrated for not getting a substantial remuneration with respect to his qualification. Now I'll tell you, the Mumbai port is the biggest port in the country was the most important commercial port, one can say. Why don't you pay attention? Every move of the government is a politically motivated. I don't know what for you are ignoring that, neglecting it. When you talk about Mundra, you forget Mumbai port. Mumbai port. You talk about Vadman, but you forget Mumbai port. Why? Why this discriminatory treatment? You spoke about Swadeshi mill. Sir, there are textile mills which belong to National Textile Corporation of India. They are closed down. I gave them number of ideas. But I told you it is a hidden agenda. Niti Aayog is one such agency. It's a nodal agency, I can say, of the Honorable Prime Minister. Whatever he feels, they will give the directive through the Niti Aayog. Whether that Niti or Aniti, I don't know what they do. Why don't you develop National Textile Corporation's textile mills? You can have a textile hub inside it. Use land, sir. Use land. Different. You can go for IT sector. You can do certain lot of things over there, so that the jobs also will be created and the company also will, like that of Deveshwarji. From textile to something else you can do. There are industries. You don't want to do it. Why you are treating badly the Mumbai city? I said it. What is wrong with you that you are treating Mumbai city as a stepmother? It's a stepmotherly treatment we are getting. So these are the things where you can, government can be, government should be magnanimous, big hearted. They should not think of a politics, what political mileage, political gain, voting, election. No, 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 no. Once you got elected, serve the people. As Balasaheb Thackeray used to say, 80% social work, 20% politics. Politics for the time of election. Once you get elected, you must serve every person, whether he belongs to your party, opposition party, whether he belongs to any caste, creed, region, religion. Humanity is the top aspect of it. Today you are forgetting all those things. The way why you have shifted IFSC from Mumbai to Gujarat, Baroda, gift. Why? Instead of Institute of Financial Service Center. It's a global institute, which was to be done in Bandra, BKC. Why you have shifted to Gujarat? So many industries you have shifted to Maharashtra. We have no hassles, no grudges about Gujarat. It's our state only. This is our country state. Let them develop. But why you are snatching the thalis from Maharashtra and giving to them? The legitimate rights of the Maharashtra federal structure. Again, there is and if the double engine is there, if that engine roars, this engine closes down immediately. No voice at all. Is it federal? Your own companies today they have shifted the trade and patent headquarters. Trade and patent headquarters was there in Mumbai, shifted to Delhi. Don't you feel? Don't you feel it is a political decision? It is a revengeful decisions against Mumbai. This is what the government is doing. You can do it. For NTC, you can go for a textile mill. You can go for so many companies. You can develop them. But if you desire to, your desire is the guidance given by your friends. And whatever your friends want, you do that. Not for the people of the country, you are doing it.
Sawant, this is a long discussion. Again, then we also have that angle of the South versus non-South of India, wherein the South is supposed to be contributing so much so to the GDP of the country, economy of the country, but their share is always, a kind of contestable. But Maharashtra, as you raised the point, why shift the financial gift city to Gujarat, wherein Maharashtra was always the commercial, still is the highest tax contributing state of the nation. Why?
Thank you so much.
There are so many such questions unanswered. but there are also good steps being taken. For example, today, steps being taken, whether good or not, only time will tell us. Institutions like SEBI, NSC, these are all been, tainted over the last few years. But the government is also trying from its own side. I know the panacea is not there is no elixir available to solve all the problems together. But as you rightly pointed out, if the human approach is adhered to and employment is at the forefront of the thought process, then public sector should be today's India's panacea and a remedy to a lot of problems which are currently in a nascent stage. And in the next 4 or 5 years, if the things are not resurrected, will blow out of proportions, especially in the kind of era that we are seeing after the 20th of January, when Mr. Trump assumed office. Thank you, Mr. Arvind
Oh,
Sawant. Thank you so much, sir, for the time.